You're the reason why I am my way. You're the reason why I rip my shirts, why I eat at the buffet. Butter, you got your very own kind of nice. We all live inside a butter world. Oh, butter, butter. Gonna eat it by the sticks tonight. Gonna eat out this world. Oh, butter. I'm about to take a bite, 'cause I want that salty cream. What I dream about all night. Butter dreaming. I'm about to take a bite, 'cause I want that salty cream. What I dream about all.
All right, welcome everyone to another live with Butterfield. You only get Jay tonight, but we have a great guest. His name is Sandy. Thank you for joining, Sandy.
Yeah, what is up, guys? How's it going?
No, yeah, so excited to have you here, Sandy, because you've been a member of the Discord group, and it's been fun, right? Talking to you, getting some cool insights, getting to know you better about your thoughts, and you being part of the carnivore community. So I figured, hey, let's have him on our stream so he can share his experience. Uh, I know I put you as carnivore on the thumbnail,
hmm
but you can feel free to correct me. What's the proper label for you?
Yeah, so for the past, I'd say, year, I've been sort of what you'd call a animal-based eater. I've been, basing all my meals off of, red meat and then adding in fruit here and there, to where I crave it, to where I feel it. So yeah, that pretty much describes it. I'd say I'm, 75% carnivore, and then, I fill in the gaps when I need to.
Nice, nice. So animal based. Yeah, people use the
hmm
term animal based to include have carnivore be meat heavy, and then also include a little bit more fruits or other stuff. I guess it's kind of a loose carnivore term.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, big umbrella term. Not quite as much fruit as someone like Paul Saladino, but I still include it. So
Oh yeah, we'll be talking about him tonight. So yeah, we have a segment that I kind of put together called Friend or Foe. We'll get to that. But yeah, I know kind of I jumped ahead of there a little bit asking you about carnivore, but I want you to share, a little bit more about your background. I know you're an active guy,
hmm
sports stuff. Um, so yeah,
yeah, so I'm just an 18-year-old kid from Charlotte, North Carolina. I have a pretty active lifestyle. I'm big into whitewater kayaking, spending a lot of time in nature. I like to base kind of a lot of my lifestyle around nature. So that's kind of how I'm liking to live, and yeah, I've kind of
nice.
used that to incorporate this animal-based diet, which I kind of got into a few years ago. Um, after just finding pages like Carnivore Aurelius on Instagram and Paul Saladino, and then eventually people like Svedage and Ajonas Wonderplanets, and that's kind of what sparked my interest. And ever since then, it's just been researching it, kind of honing it down, figuring out what works for me, and then actually trying it and staying somewhat consistent. So
Nice, nice. Yeah, so you're pretty active, and so you said you started about a year and a half ago.
hmm
Wow, so you were probably what, 17, 16?
yeah, somewhere around there when I was first starting to like actually change my diet.
Wow, that's pretty wild. Um, you know, uh, I always wish I found this diet or this way of eating younger. So you're like potentially the perfect age
hmm
uh, to try something like this. Um, what did how did your parents take it when you said, "Hey, I'm going meat heavy"?
And I guess not just my parents, but I guess everyone looked at me kind of crazy for a bit. Obviously everyone was like, "You're gonna get a heart attack from all the cholesterol, and where are you gonna get this? Where are you gonna get that nutrient?" And it definitely took a lot of explaining to do. I think as time's gone on, people have gotten used to it, so it's I guess a little less crazy to the people around me. But yeah, everyone found it pretty weird at first, and so it was definitely an adjustment.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, it's yeah, you could say like the one of the drawbacks is like the social
Hmm.
aspect of it, or the social pressure, because you get like the same
Hmm.
questions over and over again, and some people kind of get it, some people don't get it.
Yeah, I
Uh,
mean, yeah, there are some people who once you tell them you basically only eat animals, they like can't move past that at all. So it's kind of funny.
that is true. There's a certain group of people that will not overlook that fact.
Hmm.
Yeah, so yeah, you do whitewater kayaking. You like being closer to nature.
Hmm.
But you've been doing that for probably way longer than the diet.
Yeah, yeah. Ever since I was little, I started the kayaking when I was 8 years old, and then I guess with that comes kind of the interest in nature, and then I've always I guess done a sport at some point in my life, whether it was like soccer when I was a little kid, or I wrestled for the past 4 years in high school. So just a
Nice.
generally active lifestyle, I suppose.
And a wrestler.
Yeah.
Nice, nice. Um, but yeah, here's the thing, right? So it's since you're young, I don't know if you probably noticed any differences like in your sports or activities, because I feel like at that age you're sort of very resilient. You can run on like Twinkies or whatever. Um,
Hmm.
so when you started off this way of eating, did you like experience any differences?
Yeah,
In
so
terms-
I'd say like with my, like kayaking and just, going out and being active, I definitely noticed a difference because, my energy was super well regulated throughout the day. Like, even if I just got breakfast in and then didn't eat anything for the rest of the day, like I'd feel super consistent on the energy. Um, I can't say I saw like a super big difference when it came to the wrestling, but that's mainly because with all the weight cutting I was doing, like I, it's like I wasn't eating any kind of diet because I wasn't eating at all for a bit. So I guess it's harder to tell with that. But I mean, with just my day to day physical activity, I definitely notice a difference though.
Nice, nice. Yeah, I guess more on the energy basis. I mean, I don't know. Whitewater kayaking sounds pretty tough.
Hmm.
Looks pretty scary. I've seen your Instagram. Uh,
Yeah, yeah, it's
it's
it's like 40% physical, 60% mental.
yeah, you just gotta be brave, I guess. That's a skill that's required for this sport.
Hmm.
Nice. So, and with wrestling, kind of um, kind of same experience, I guess.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I know like when I would, do big weight cuts and then, be craving the carbs and maybe do a little bit of cheating, I would feel just like exhausted all day. And, that obviously had a negative impact on, kind of my athletics. So it's like it's honestly you don't notice the difference as much when you go on the diet, more as you notice the difference a lot when you go off the diet because it hits you like a truck.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I know that feeling. I know that feeling. It's like you become more sensitive or more susceptible to stuff that's not part of your diet once you start eating this way.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, you do. It hits you like a truck. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Um, Excellent. So, sorry, I'm just checking the comments here. Uh, Ingrid says Sandy looking like an Adonis on the thumbnail.
Love to hear it. Thank you very much.
Nice, yeah. The young based carnivore or
Mhm.
animal based guy.
Yeah, we're all Chads in the making, I guess.
The German koala says, "Do you guys do carnivore diet when it comes to dating too?" Like, oh my god, nice, nice. Only if it's big enough, right? Otherwise, if it's less than 5 inches, uh, pass. Oscar Guevara, another great podcast. Thanks for tuning in, man. Appreciate it.
Ooh.
Um, awesome, awesome. Um, all right, so yeah, so you started doing animal based.
Yep.
Have you ever gone like straight carnivore?
Um, Definitely for like shorter periods of time, but I'd say like the timing when I have tried to do that's not right. Because like for example, I definitely started off World Carnivore Month, just pure carnivore, but like in the midst of the wrestling season, like cutting out carbs and basically going through the keto flu like isn't ideal. So I wouldn't say I've been like ever full carnivore in ketosis, but like I've definitely gone on stints where I've just had days of purely red meat.
Nice, nice. Yeah, yeah. It's well, yeah. If you're in season, that's pretty rough because if you're going strict, you might need some like adaptation period if you haven't done it before. Especially with the training. Um, yeah. So some people do it off season, right? If you're kind of like a serious athlete.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, you just went through a wrestling season.
Yeah, yeah. So
How did
I'll
that go?
definitely. It went good. Like again, athletically, like I'd say I definitely felt on my, at my best when I was, sticking to my diet super well. And then the times where I'd be cutting weight, maybe cheating a little bit, I would definitely feel it in like the, not only the short term, but like I would just feel like groggy. So like yeah, my cardio would take a big hit, and then I would just feel like low energy, like not even really having a mental focus at that point. Because I know for me, like when I cheat a little bit, like it destroys my mental focus. Like especially if I have a lot of carbs and gluten, it makes me feel foggy for a long time.
Yeah, yeah. Um, what were those cheats, and were they worth it?
Oh man, so some of them, some of them are worth it, but most of them definitely not worth it. We have a tradition. We always go out to get dinner as a team after matches. Those were worth it. The social aspect and kind of the reward, but everything else not worth it for sure.
Okay, okay. I mean, it's tough because uh, I mean, yeah, you're pretty young, so basically, it's like if you decide to go carnivore diet, it's like or animal based, I guess that gives you a little bit more flexibility with the fruit.
Hmm.
Um, does that probably means are you ever gonna have ice cream, right? In your
Yeah.
entire life,
Hmm.
right? You got a lot of life ahead of you.
Hmm.
Do you think ice cream's still on the table?
Yeah, definitely. So like ice cream for me, like especially Haagen Dazs, is like it's one of those foods. Like by no means is ice cream healthy. Like let me just get that out of the way. Ice cream will never be healthy, but like if I were to be cheating, like some vanilla Haagen Dazs is pretty much as good as it gets. Like I'm not doing my body too much of a disservice. I'm not loading up on toxins. It's not like I'm just drinking canola oil or anything like that. It's about as clean of a cheat as you can get.
Yeah,
So
yeah, no, you're right. I've checked the ingredients of Haagen-Dazs, and it's like, yeah, milk, cream, and eggs. If you go
yeah, and then
for,
it's yeah, just a little bit of sugar. So
uh,
all right, maybe a lot of sugar, but
I was gonna say, if you want to call it little, okay.
still worth it. Still worth it.
Yeah, yeah. No, no, I'm with you. I mean, it's and it's I mean, a lot of people. do the carnivore diet for health reasons, right? And that kind of, they have like a health scare, or they have a pretty bad quality of life, that they have to try this out and kind of stick with this, and that's what keeps them very strict. um, I don't know if you were in, well, I guess I should take a step back. You saw this type of diet, you saw it through Carnivorous Aurelius,
Hmm.
uh, um, the Saladino guy. uh, what made you jump the gun or make the decision to give it a try?
So I'd kind of heard people talking, like carnivores talking about how going off, all the crap is basically like you're sick 24/7. And I kind of wanted to test out, like, is it really like being sick 24/7, like eating all these toxins and then, suddenly switching off, and it's like a whole, other quality of life that you've never experienced before, like. And so that's kind of what made me jump the gun. And I guess what's made me stick around is it's like, when I'm super strict, it's like I'm basically high on life. Like I feel great physically, like mentally, I'm super, super happy throughout the days. And I guess compare that to when I was just eating like a normal lifestyle. Just like every day, I just felt, slow. I had poor digestion, stuff like that. And those weren't problems that I realized were actually problems until, I guess now I understand they're not normal. Like,
Mm.
people shouldn't have those problems. And I think 95% of the population looks at those problems and goes, "Oh, that's normal. That's genetic. That's out of your control. Blah blah blah." And then, I guess you reclaim that quality of life that you're entitled to, and you don't look back.
Yeah, yeah. You reclaim that quality of life you're entitled to, and that is true, because if you kind of grow up and then you start taking like modern recommendations on what's food,
Hmm.
having your cereal,
Yeah.
having your donuts, as long as it's part of a moderate, balanced diet, whatever that means.
Yeah.
Um, your knees gonna hurt. You're gonna be
Hmm.
feel groggy, uncomfortable. Your digestion is not good, as you mentioned, but you think it's normal.
Hmm.
And then more things pop up as you age, and you're like, oh, it's just part of aging. Um, so I guess you're in a very lucky position to have I don't know, just hop on it pretty young. um,
Yeah. Yeah. Because I mean, I guess these toxins that everyone's eating, like, it's not like, yeah. I guess I mean at my age, I can change it and I can fix it. But if I continued for like 30 years, like, these problems don't just go away overnight. Like you can't just treat your body like crap for years and years and years and years and expect it to kind of just go away. So
yeah,
yeah, I mean, I'm young. My body all is more, I guess, open to change. So I mean that scope of change I'll be able to make will I guess grow a lot smaller as time goes on. So yeah, I mean, just starting it young and keeping at it's my goal.
nice, nice. Yeah. So yeah. At 18, man, no, that's pretty cool. Obviously, I'm jealous, but right, for an outsider, it's like, oh, this kid is like has completely lost it. Uh,
Yeah, exactly.
it is what it is. Let me check the comments real quick. Make sure it's PG. Rob Stone says apple pie milkshake? Question mark.
Yeah, I think that's someone I know know in real life.
Nice.
Yeah, basically
That's your
after wrestling matches, it's my tradition. The apple pie milkshake. I think,
nice.
you know what, we're gonna make an exception. All right, apple pie milkshake is carnivore.
Well, it has eggs. I'm sure there's some eggs thrown in, so it's animal based at least.
Yeah, animal based at least. Got the milk and the ice cream and everything.
Oh, yeah,
And
the milk.
animal based
Yeah,
recipe.
yeah. It's an animal based recipe. Uh, yeah, it's got some. Pay two says, does eating a carnivore diet affect your sexual performance? Very interesting.
I mean, I mean, obviously you might be joking with that, but I mean, the science is pretty clear there. Like I mean, even if you look at the foundation of why we're eating grains in society, it's pretty much due to the Kellogg's. In the whole goal of getting people basically coked up on grains, which you're going to destroy their libido, you're going to destroy their sexual performance, and you're basically going to remove any sexual desire out of them. So, I mean, yeah, I would say, yeah, eating carnivore will definitely improve your sexual performance.
Absolutely, I agree. 100% agree. Definitely helps ED. A lot of people have commented that their ED is gone on this way of eating, and it kind of makes sense, like you pointed out. Kellogg's himself invented cereals so people would be more docile, less sexual, and I guess less functional, right?
Yeah, I mean, Peyton, you eat some steak, you eat some oysters, and tell me how you feel. You'll feel your libido will spike for sure.
Mateo says, I think it does. Right. Nice. Nice. Pretty good topic. I love it. I love it. I guess that's what's everyone thinking at a young age.
Yeah, exactly. That age of puberty.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Testosterone is high. And it remains high if you're a carnivore, right?
Hmm.
So that fire never goes away. Uh, all right. Yeah. So we were talking about, yeah, you kind of experimenting with these types of foods, planning on sticking it at least for the near future. Is that fair to say?
To like the animal based
Yeah,
sort of
animal based.
things.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So I definitely want to stick to animal based for a good bit. And then, down the road, I guess something I do want to try is, even if it's just for a week or two, I do want to kind of go raw with things and go down that primal diet where you cut out the cooking, you just go raw because I mean I feel great when I eat raw meat, so it'd be nice to see how I feel if I eat it all the time. Um, and I'm not big on science. I know that's kind of like don't take that one out of context, but what's more important than someone telling you something's healthy is you trying it out, you feeling it, and you intuitively knowing that it's healthy. And so yeah, I mean the only reason, or I guess the only way I can know what's healthiest for my body is if I try everything. So you know I've given cooked meat a try. I'll give raw meat a try. If I feel better on the cooked meat, I'll just keep eating cooked meat though.
Yeah, that's fair. That's a good point. You don't know how your body's going to respond until you actually give it a try. So I guess raw meat is, is the next step. Uh, in the exploration of the carnivore diet, right? My stance, man. I don't want
Yeah.
to. I don't want to blast you with
No,
the
I
raw
mean,
meat.
yeah, yeah, I mean, you don't have to think it's smart or anything like that.
Yeah. No, but I accept your point that it's interesting to give it a try, see how it goes. In my opinion, for full disclosure, I think cooking your meat is probably it's tasty. A warm meal. It's very tasty compared to a cold meal. When you're cooking out, you're having a barbecue. You can smell your neighbor. You can smell the neighbor cooking. That's telling you that your neighbor's having fun. So it means something to me. So
Hmm.
that's why I'm kind of leaning more towards like the
Oh yeah, I mean, and even let's say that not cooking your food was somehow like the absolutely the perfect way to eat. At the end of the day, even if you did cook all your food, you would be 99% as healthy as someone who didn't cook their food. Like it's not these like this is such a small difference to make that it's not something I'm super concerned about. Like I'm not out here petitioning for people to stop cooking and stop cooking their food because like of all the things I people should do, going raw is like probably the I guess going to make the least difference.
yeah. It could be either marginal difference in terms of improvement potentially, or it could be neutral. or could be the flip side.
Yeah. I mean,
Could be
exactly. I
the
mean,
flip
I
side.
don't, I mean, yeah, cooking your meat. I gotta try it. I gotta see how I feel, but
Yeah, yeah,
I don't anticipate like a big change or anything like that. It'd
yeah,
be something subtle for sure.
yeah. Okay, okay. I won't press hard.
Yeah. Off the,
Uh, Comments from Andrew Joss. Thoughts on olive oil?
yeah. What up, Andrew? I guess you wanna answer that one or?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, so in terms of my opinion on olive oil, it's a good, it is a good fruit oil. It's not a seed oil. It is a plant oil, but comes from a fruit, the olive. If you can get it, there's like a lot of requirements because that industry is the olive oil is very adulterated. So meaning all the olive oils, there's a high chance that you buy something that is spiked with another oil, pretty low quality oil. So you got to make sure it's
Mm-hmm.
single origin, comes in a dark bottle, cold pressed. And I think there's some other requirements. There's a timeliness to it, right? It can't be on the shelf too long because it just naturally
Mm-hmm.
oxidizes.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I guess the whole appeal to olive oil is it's lower in, the PUFAs, the omega-6s. And yeah, I mean, you bring up olive oil to someone, they're like, "Oh, olive oil is the good oil," and then you tell them that there's 90% chance that it's, you know, basically 50% another type of oil, and people are in disbelief by that a lot of the times. And I guess nothing to do with the whole raw versus cooked meat argument, but I'm pretty sure with olive oil you really aren't supposed to cook on it, even if you're having it in carnivore, because when you raise the temperature of olive oil, it does kind of destabilize the fat and I guess affect what's absorbed there. It makes it a little more inflammatory to your body, from what I've seen. So
Oh yeah, I agree. The smoke point is much lower compared to your more stable animal fats, like tallow. Um, so that fat from beef. So yeah, that's a good point too. It's generally not a good idea to cook with it. You can add it on afterwards. That's why
mm-hmm.
it's also recommended, a requirement of the olive oil that you want to get, to be cold pressed, right? So the extraction method, it's at a cold temperature, because if it's at a hot temperature, you're oxidizing it. And as you said, oxidized oil can lead to inflammation.
Yeah, I see
More comments?
some more comments. Yeah, so where are the best places to get good animal products? You know, Rob Stone, if you're from, I guess you are from Charlotte. There's good local markets within 25 minutes of the city. Personally, I like to go down to South Carolina. There's the Peach Stand down in South Carolina, which is an all-purpose farmers market. They have raw milk. They have, super good hormone-free, vaccine-free, grass-fed, grass-finished beef down there. It's just an awesome, like, I guess, Amish-style farmers market. And, pretty much everything there is, like, just a healthier version of what would be on a normal grocery store shelf. So that's where I like to go for all my stuff. I mean, I still go to just the local grocery stores for meat as well, because I'm not trying to ball out on the nicest, fanciest cuts of meat every time. But for my more specialty items, yeah, I definitely go down to South Carolina. We're lucky to be so close to that border.
Nice, nice. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, find a local place. Um, you got the local place, so you seem really well connected there. Favorite cut of animal flesh?
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
Sorry,
yeah.
do you?
Go ahead. Go
All
ahead.
right, yeah. For me, ribeye. No
Ribeye.
question about it. Like a super fatty ribeye. I can't stand people who see a steak and are like, oh, I don't want the fat. I'm gonna cut off the fat. Like the fat is the flavor. The fat is the fuel.
I know. I know. Yeah. Whenever I go out to eat with other people and they also get a steak, I just see them like kind of cut out the fat, and I'm like, oh man, yeah, you just you don't get it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah. For me, it would be beef ribs. Um, I think I'm sticking to my beef ribs, but the ribeye, comes from the rib section, so it's equally tasty.
Hmm. Yeah.
Next question is from Dr. Meat. Nice username. How budget friendly is an all meat diet? How can I do this on a budget and not spend $20 a day? Nice. Yeah. So generally, red meat is probably one of the pricier meats. What we like to do is sometimes throw in pork, mixing porks, mixing some chicken. That kind of drives the dollar per pound average down. Also, always look for deals. There's always some sort of deal every week, and we stock up on ground beef as well. 80%. 80% is, you know, more price friendly than the 90%, and you actually want the 80% because it's higher fat, which is going to be your fuel. Um, yeah.
Yeah. I think like especially if you're just doing pure carnivore, like I know with me with the animal base, like when you start to add in like fruits and like other stuff, it becomes a little more complicated for your cost per day. But for the carnivore, it's really as simple as just 2 pounds of ground beef a day. Like 2 pounds of muscle meat is all you need. Um, and then obviously if you want to throw in like the bacon and the eggs, like that's really good. But I mean, ground beef is cheap. I think if 90% of people crunched out their budgets for how much they're actually eating a day, it would, come out to more than $20 a day. So,
Oh yeah, I agree. Yeah, most people kind of grab a lunch out, and that lunch is like $20, $15, right?
mhm.
You can definitely average if you're cooking your meals, you're preparing your meals, and looking for the deals. You can do it. You can do it. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
the other question is like,
Hmm.
you are actually going for the most valuable human foods. So I think you're worth it, right? Eat the premium foods. So don't feel too bad.
Yeah. Cancel your Netflix subscription if you're having trouble affording your carnivore diet,
Yeah. Feed your body, not your mind, with junk.
Yeah, I
Like
mean,
the,
even on minimum wage, like $20 a day on food is pretty reasonable.
yeah, I think so. Question. Did you get camel milk? Oh, that's one of my questions.
No, I've not got camel milk yet because I guess I have to ship it probably from Pennsylvania. I think is the most available source for me, and I'm really not interested in raw milk if it's been frozen because it I guess loses a lot of its properties. So I think if I'm passing anywhere near Pennsylvania, I'll be sure to stop by and get some camel milk, or if I find other farms around, I will. I'm open to all types of milk as long as it doesn't come from a male animal.
Yeah. uh, nice. No, so you weren't able to find something in North Carolina. I think you were close to something, but I
Yeah.
guess no.
So there's that one. Uh, it might have been like a farm share program. I'm not sure. It was super outdated. Like I basically have to email the owner and like set up a time to pick up some milk, and even then like they only drop it off basically to a spot that's 2 hours away from me. So that's a lot of driving for some bougie milk.
Yeah, it's like what, 20 bucks uh a liter or something like that. It was
Yeah, it's
uh
craziness.
pretty crazy. So speaking of the milk, it kind of it brings me to the question about your gallons a day, or 2 gallons a week raw milk
Hmm.
tons. um tell me about the procurement process for these raw milk.
Yeah, so there's a few different places to get them around where I live. Um, if you're looking in North Carolina, it's only legal for pet consumption, and they're pretty adamant about selling it as that. The farms I've called, I've basically asked for raw milk, and they've they've been like, well, we can only sell it to you if it's for your pets. And so it's like, yeah, I mean, it's unfortunately something that's, you know, taboo in a lot of states, you know, outright illegal in many. But you know, most of the time I'm just going to go down to South Carolina where it is perfectly, you know, legal in the land of the free down there. And yeah, I stock up, try and get, you know, between 1 to 2 gallons a week. I mean, I think raw milk is a superfood. It's complete food. You know, if you, aside from muscle meat, if I had to live off one food only, I think I would thrive off raw milk.
Nice, nice. Yeah, so you're smuggling uh, uh, milk across state borders, huh?
Yeah, highly illegal stuff right there. Especially when I resell it to a drug dealer. I mean, you look at places, I think like in Canada, like drugs like heroin are legal and then raw milk is completely banned. So like I mean, it really makes no sense. It's almost like they're more strict about the milk than they are the hard drugs.
Oh yeah, 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 absolutely. That made the headlines recently about how they're decriminalizing like heroin. Uh, but you know, buying raw milk is illegal.
Hmm.
So tells you a lot about the priorities and intentions of these larger governmental bodies. Um, it's it's nonsense. That's what it is.
Hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, you went from having two gallons of milk per week, right? But you changed that.
Yeah, so I've toned it down a little bit, um, just to 1 gallon. I think, you know, 2 gallons is a lot. I think if I keep that up in addition with, you know, the rest of the food I eat in a day, I'll just become super fat over the next year. So I'll, you know, I don't think two gallons a week is necessarily unhealthy. Just like in the kind of balance of what I'm eating, I think 2 gallons is a little too much. Um, but yeah, I'm just having about
Yeah.
like 2 glasses a day right now. So it comes
Nice,
out to be about a gallon a week.
nice.
I just drink it when I crave it. So I like to think of it.
Yeah, 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 yeah. 2 gallons a week. That's a lot. I would definitely gain a lot of weight if I were to do that. It's very anabolic.
Hmm.
Here's a comment here. Maya asks, "What are your thoughts on vegans?" You know, that's one of my questions too, because you made a pretty cool essay
Yeah.
that
Hmm.
you were very kind to share. So I guess we can jump into the topic.
Yeah. Of that essay,
Well, I guess yeah, thoughts on
or just
vegans.
vegans in general, I guess. Yeah.
I guess yeah, we can start there.
Yeah.
Vegans in
Well.
general, and then go through the essay points.
Yeah. I think you know my opinion on vegans. I think it's, you know, if you want to live a lifestyle that's going to make you nutrient deprived, um, yeah, you're just gonna have a terrible quality of life. That's why, you know, when you look on the internet and you see people having breakdowns and people complaining over, you know, basically nonsense that's going on in the world, you don't see the carnivores ever doing that, but you sure as hell see a lot of vegans doing that. I mean,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, I think it's, you know, it's like the physical aspect of it. You know, you're creating obviously an unhealthy body. That's why, you know, whenever I guess just even think of vegans that you know, they're like they all have some type of health issue, and you know, there's also, I guess, in the vegans I know, they're a little bit less emotionally mature because they're, I guess, depriving their body of what they need, and then their mind doesn't like that, and so their mind kind of starts to turn on itself.
yeah. No, I agree. There's actually been studies. I remember checking a study out that vegans were more irritable than just the average person, and a lot of it is likely because of deprivation of nutrients. It just makes
Mm.
you lose your mind over time.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, evidently, because that sort of behavior, I don't think is not of a civilized person, at least, or rational,
Hmm.
or even compassionate, right?
Yeah.
Whatever they want to label themselves.
Hmm.
Uh, uh, so yeah, one of the topics was the cows ending the world.
Yeah. So people, I guess vegans, animal rights activists, I'm gonna put that in air quotes there. Um,
I
yeah,
can
they
see
love to
them.
talk about how cows are gonna end the world and all that stuff. Like anyone who hears that, like just take a deep breath in, a deep breath out. By their logic, you've just polluted the world right there. You are causing the earth to warm. Um, and I guess the people who argue that really just don't have a second grade understanding of what the carbon cycle looks like, because it'd be one thing, like obviously taking coal out of the ground is obviously not great for the environment, and burning it, it's not great, because what you're doing is you're taking carbon that's been trapped under the earth for as long as it's been in existence and releasing it. You're introducing a net more amount of carbon than previously possible in the environment, and that's obviously going to cause some type of change in the atmosphere. But when you just have a living organic being that is obviously using carbon, everything living needs carbon, um and puts it out as, like for example methane with the cows. They're not creating any carbon, they're not adding carbon into the atmosphere, they're just cycling it through. That same carbon that the cow's putting in the atmosphere with the methane, that would go back into the atmosphere when that piece of grass dies. Like, is grass causing climate change now? I guess if you're following that circular logic, anything that produces any type of carbon is, I guess, terrible for the environment. So we should just kill everything on the earth, and then maybe we can save it from warming up 3 degrees.
Yeah, no, that's obviously like a very logical view, right? You have an animal existing in nature, out in the pasture, out in the field, kind of just eating the grass, basically, as you said, kind of unlocking the carbon from the grass that eventually comes back into the ground,
Hmm.
as opposed to like burning coal or petrols, which is kind of unlocking carbon that is not part of the cycle. You're just adding carbon, more carbon into the atmosphere. So, right, it's
Yeah, exactly. And obviously, the argument with cows and the methane is that methane is more potent than carbon, and thus causes more damage. But
mm,
I guess I'm blanking on the exact amount of time. I think it's like 18 years or something like that. That methane actually exists in the atmosphere. Then it just breaks down to regular carbon, where it's again absorbed back into the plants. And like you hear that, and you're like, 18 years is this super potent gas in our atmosphere. That's terrible. But like 18 years in the scale of geology, and the scale of the scale of gases sitting in our atmosphere is like a microscopic amount of time. Like for humans, 25 years is a big time, but for the Earth, 19 years is tiny. It's something that's not really going to affect things on a broad scale.
yeah, agreed. It's just the natural cycle of it. 18 years, 19 years, that's nothing out of who knows how many thousands of years. Uh, I know you had another point there in the essay about everyone in the U.S. going vegan.
Yeah. So obviously, yeah. So if the whole appeal about veganism is that's gonna help the environment, then if everyone went vegan, we would see this big change. But I guess as studies show, uh, if everyone in America went vegan, we would only see a quote unquote decrease in greenhouse gas emissions by up to 2.6%. And in like the scale of how we measure things, that's barely even a measurable number. Like the impact that you or I would actually have is not going to be measurable, even if every single person in the country goes vegan. And I guess, like I've said, 99% of what people count as greenhouse gas emissions from meat eaters isn't actually greenhouse gas emissions, because it's just part of the carbon cycle. So I'm sure if you adjusted that number, that would become 1 millionth of a percent.
Yeah. It's definitely gets overstated, overblown, overmarketed. That just by changing the way you're eating, you're also saving the world. It's I think it's incredible how how it gets packaged, right? This nice little vegan package will, save lives, save cows, save the planet, make you a better person, but make you angry and make you hate anyone that's not doing the same, that's not the savior like you.
Hmm.
Uh, it is what it is. Water requirements for beef. Um,
Yeah, yeah, that's also a super exaggerated, I guess, statistic. So everyone, yeah, they like to talk about how much water is actually going into your beef. First of all, just who cares about how much water is going into the beef? Because even if it was 10 million gallons of water for a single bite of beef, guess what? That water, like just by nature, needs to evaporate and come back down at some point. Like it's unless if you're burying water under the ground, it is literally impossible to waste water. So that's I guess the first off. But even if you are concerned about wasting water that will eventually rain back down from the sky, um, speaking of rain, 94% of water used when farming cows is rainwater. So it's water that's naturally coming from the sky. Or I guess they call it green water. So it's from rain. It's from
mhm.
the stream. It's the water that's already in the soil. They're counting that water that's already there in the soil, and there naturally as the water that's being displaced into the beef production, and it's kind of dishonest. And then you look over at something like almond milk, and 8 ounces of almond milk literally takes 100 gallons of water to produce throughout the entire process, because it's not just 8 ounces of almonds, it's like pounds of almonds to produce this tiny amount of almond milk. And people don't realize this because, when people make their homemade almond milk, they're just blending up some almonds into a blender with some water and some, vanilla extract or whatever. But that's not how it's made in the factory. There's, you know, so much water that goes into that production. So even if you just drink something like almond milk, you are doing, far more harm to your water footprint, which again, no one should even care about. You're doing far more harm than, if you just ate a cow.
Yeah. No, I fully agree. It's so disingenuous, right? As you said, green water, right? That's
Mm-hmm.
rainwater. That's so unfair that it gets included in the calculation of water usage for cattle. And while almonds, like you said, you require setting up irrigation systems, right? So basically, an irrigation system is pulling water from somewhere else to kind of feed the almonds.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's like, come on.
Yeah, and it's like 97% of the water in almond production is displaced water. It's like the inverse of what's going on with the meat production. And I guess,
Yeah.
Dr. Meat, is asking about factory farming. Yeah, so that number I pulled, about, the green water and all that stuff, that just comes from, cattle farming in general. That's not specifically just looking at factory farming, but that's also not just looking at like pasture raised cows. That's like the overall. So yeah, I mean, factory farming is going to be pretty close to what I just said. It is still going to be, you know, somewhere in the realm of 96% of just natural water.
Yeah, yeah. And yeah, a lot of the cows they are raised on pasture. It's just some are sent to the feedlot towards the end of it. Um, so yeah, it's the majority of the lifetime it will be green water as well.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, if that's a concern, just buy pasture raised, beef. That's, I guess, what you're looking for.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Agreed, agreed. If people can afford it and they can get to know the local farmer, you can
That's a
see, I
big one.
mean, you can see where I mean, you're not going to find evil farmers, right? If you really have a look, find your farm, you're not going to find an evil farmer that's mistreating. I think that's one of the concerns with factory farming as well, right? Obviously that's not something that we are advocating, right? We are aware of better practices, and as you said, pasture raising, it's one of them. Regenerative agriculture,
Hmm.
it's one of them. Uh,
Yeah, I mean, good question though.
yeah, yeah. I mean, no, absolutely fair question, because this is like the mainstream objections or mainstream like ideas that people have in their head. Do you want to touch on the nutrition of a vegan diet? For example, B12.
Yeah. So I mean, B12, unlike I mean, pretty much every single nutrient that's found in plants is simply just the inferior version as in animals. Because in animal, it's already in the form that your body wants it. It's already in the animal form of the nutrient. But B12 doesn't exist at all in plants. Like not one tiny bit. There's nowhere where you can find actual B12 in any type of plant matter. And I guess as we were talking a bit earlier about kind of your mental state when you go vegan, B12 is particularly critical for your brain health and your emotional and your cognitive function. So without B12, you're basically harming the capacity that which your brain can work. And that's why any vegan you meet, 90% of vegans you meet are gonna have to take some type of supplement. You know, whether it be like athletic greens, which is really popular, or just straight up
Mm.
pills. Yes, they're also deficient in vitamin A, D, K, quality protein. There's no quality plant protein. That's just like an oxymoron. There's no heme iron. There's no DHA. Um, yeah, I mean, people people want to go on like Accutane to fix their acne. Um, when if they just ate a steak, they'd be getting the proper amount of vitamin A, and they also wouldn't be stopping their body from like a natural detox method like acne. Because having acne or having the ability to produce acne is good. Having acne is obviously bad, and vitamin A, I guess in the proper amounts helps with that. So, yeah, I mean, go vegan, and basically destroy your health.
Yeah, man. Wow, you're yeah. I love it, man. I love it. You're obviously well researched. Well, you understand these topics pretty well. And yeah, I completely agree. Right, we're just agreeing here.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, no essential amino acids, or you don't find the right proportions of essential amino acids in plant foods compared to animal foods. Which obviously essential means that you have to eat it. You can't your body can't produce it, so you need those raw materials. Essential fatty acids, you mentioned DHA. That's an essential fatty acid. DHA only found in animal foods. um, you can find like precursors to the omega 3s, so your body has to take the plant form and then convert it into the animal form, but the efficiency of that conversion is pretty low. It's like 5 to 10%
Mm-hmm.
on the DHA conversion. So it's like you're making your body work extra hard to convert a very minimal amount. um,
Yeah, I think it's even lower with beta carotene and vitamin A. I think it's like literally like 1 to 3% is how much you're actually getting versus what you think you're getting. Which is
yeah.
why, like, for example, if you're eating a lot of plant matter, you're and not a lot of red meat, like you're gonna have inflamed skin. You're gonna have red skin, dry skin, maybe some acne, like because it's impossible to have healthy skin without healthy amounts of vitamin A. It's just not possible.
Yeah, yeah. Agreed. My brother and I were also doing some research on kind of the flip side of having too much vitamin A, which is
Hmm.
actually, uh, it's only a problem if you're having liver every day, because it has such a huge amount of vitamin A. But yeah, that's the only scenario where it would be a concern. But that's to come.
Yeah, I mean, liver is like probably has the most vitamin A of any food in the world. Yeah, I mean, definitely. I think if I've seen what y'all recently shared about that, and that's definitely like interesting, and I've looked at that because for me, what is like because you do hear about vitamin A toxicity a lot, but like all the studies that were previously showing that were like all kind of based on beta carotene, but like actually seeing like actual carnivore testimony on that, like definitely will provide, I guess, some better insight for like this one specific food, because again, like the ultimately the only way to know if something works or not is like to have people actually try it.
Yeah.
Because there are some nutrients that you can get like hundreds of times or hundreds of percent more than what the RDA is, and you'll be fine. Yeah, so it's like interesting that we're, I guess, finding out liver is not one you want to mess with, especially vitamin A. There's like I guess a really good sweet spot in that.
Yeah. 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 No. No. Yeah. I agree. It tends to be like the fat soluble vitamins. You do tend to accumulate, and one of them is vitamin A. And yeah, there is an upper threshold. It's not like if you're having a lot of liver within a week, you hit that threshold, but it's like across time. Um, it seems like it can be too much. But
Mm-hmm.
again, uh, yeah, we're very anti-liver. But that's a separate topic.
Yeah.
Save saving more. Are you saving more animals on a vegan diet, Sandy? Right? You're eating plants.
Yeah,
You're not eating the animal.
I I eat animals for obviously for the health, and just because I love them so much. Because the more animals you eat, the more animals you're saving. Because plant-based agriculture, believe it or not, is killing 25 times as many animals as just animal-based agriculture. And the entire premise of the vegan argument, for I guess the humane reasons, is that all life is equal, all sentient life is equal. And you go out, if you actually meet a farmer, you ask them, what's it like to plow the field. You are just plowing the field. You're going out, you're killing all the rodents you know that live on that field, like the foxes, the rabbits, the moles, like every rodent that lives out there. And then layer it on with the pesticides. Like, pesticides are bad for a reason. It's because things don't want to touch it, and anything that touches it and eats it is going to die. So you're killing you know millions, probably billions of insects and bees and things of that nature. And then also, you can kind of chalk that off as being unintentional deaths, so maybe it doesn't count. But the icing on the cake is that farmers need to get their guns and go out in these fields and literally chase down and kill animals. And that happens pretty much universally on all farms. Like, they're getting out their guns and they're killing these animals. Like, if you look in I guess Texas, maybe this isn't exactly agriculture related, but these farmers are getting out their guns and they're killing like dozens of hogs to defend their crops and stuff like that. And then I guess that's kind of an invasive species that's kind of unique, but on every farm they're going to be killing also dozens of like wolves and foxes and like just stuff like that, just intentionally with their guns. So there's even more intentional death happening with plant-based agriculture. It's a reality. Like, things are going to die. That's the nature of things. That's how nature operates. That's how the food chain operates. If the lions start feeling bad for the zebras, then they're going to throw off the entire food chain. Things die for other things, and that's just a reality. Humans, we have domain over animals. That's something people need to accept.
Yes.
It's the best for nature to fulfill that natural role.
Yes. Yes. No, yeah, well put. Well put. Yeah, these crop farms, they have to kill everything that is a threat to the crop farm. It's basically a dead ecosystem wherever they're growing that crop. It's only that specific crop that is allowed to grow. Everything else must die around it. You're
Mm-hmm.
displacing all these animals. We had no reason to be vegan. She's great. And
Mm-hmm.
she mentioned, there's like gopher blasters, right? This specific equipment that it's it's created to kind of just kill gophers.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, just so you can have your wheat or whatever plant crop. Um, yeah, all of those things are dying to
Yeah.
grow your
I mean,
crops.
maybe the vegans can house all these rodents in their own homes and give them a different ecosystem to live in because with their almond milk they're killing their house basically, destroying their ecosystem.
Yeah, 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 man. That it's a complete fantasy, right? It's like they're rejecting the fact of life, as you said, that things live and die, and we are humans, and we have domain over these animals. It's our responsibility. Us as humans, we have humane slaughtering laws, right? Because we understand suffering better than anyone else on this earth. We understand it better than anyone else, and that's why we try to have these laws so animals go quick, lights out.
Hmm.
Um, uh, right? That's the most humane way for an animal to go, um, and they are healthy for us. It's just something that we have to integrate into our daily lives and accept, and be grateful. I think that's probably the most important thing. Be grateful of what went into it. Um,
Yeah, I
all right.
couldn't agree more.
Yeah, I'm gonna check the comments here. Thoughts on the China balloon?
Yeah, definitely sent here to scout out our farms. Right, they're looking at they're looking at all the cows we have, and they're thinking when we invade America, we can turn all this into just big old soy patties, soy and rice patties. All right, because that's what we're all going to be eating, soy
Yeah,
rice, and then they'll keep some of the farmland for the cricket farms, of course.
yeah. Oh yeah, they're just gonna create a lot of cricket farms here too, potentially.
Yeah,
Which it's a big question. Why do they need a balloon, right? Don't they have satellites out in space? Very interesting,
yeah.
right?
Is, that is a good question.
Right,
Is
right. I know what this person is alluding to here, but that's not part of Butterfield. We should probably start a conspiracy podcast.
yeah. No,
What
yeah.
do you
The satellites all just they hit the roof and they bounce off. Simple as that.
what do you think will happen by 2030?
Simple. We're gonna own nothing, and we'll be happy.
That's what the overlords want. Definitely. Uh, Also about how the pollution to rivers from most cattle farming, almost every river that have cattle farms, pork, or even poultry farms results in airy effed up rivers. Oh man, I mean agrochemicals themselves. We were just talking about pesticides. The
Hmm.
agrochemicals get applied into the land. You're basically poisoning the food supply when you're applying all these agrochemicals because it stays in the land. Um, like if you look at the people who apply agrochemicals, they are fully covered up in suits, right? Because it's poisonous. And then you kind of expect people to eat it, and then it sits on the ground, um, polluting the ground. I know. Our local farmer here is getting. He's a regenerative agricultural farmer, so he doesn't use any chemicals. But the town is giving a hard time because they don't want any chemicals because they don't want any chemicals from crop farming to fall into the river, right? Um, so he has to prove to them that he's chemical free, right? So you're talking about synthetic chemicals being added into the food supply through agriculture.
Yeah, I mean, also, uh, most of those, I guess, sites of pollution are factory farms, which again, like, no one is saying that factory farms are like the best kind of farm or anything like that. If you look at it, yeah, these regenerative farms are not the ones that are dumping all this mass amounts of waste, into the stream. So if you're concerned about that, buy local. When in
Yeah,
doubt, buy local.
yeah, uh, yeah. No, I agree. I agree. I'm in Massachusetts, and you'd be pretty hard pressed to see a dirty farm or like an unsanitary farm. Um, you know, been to Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine. Uh, you know, if you can find me, if you can go to a farm, local farm, and you can see it as a very unsanitary conditions, you know, by all means, show me. Not the Netflix documentary stuff though.
Yeah.
Regenerative farms are cool, but currently, according to Regenerative Farmers of America, only 611,000 acres of land are regenerative in the U.S. There are currently 897 million acres in the farmland in the U.S. Well, I mean, yeah, of course, right? We need to bring awareness. People need to understand that this is the solution. People haven't heard about this, farming practice. It's kind of novelty. It's like probably people started hearing about it maybe 5 years ago. But yeah, it definitely deserves more attention.
Yeah, and I guess I see your comment about some of the river pollution in North Carolina. I can say, with my experience with that, all the dirty rivers I've been to are a result of like direct human pollution. So, like the waste management system dumps out into the river. And yeah, like that's pretty much all the dirty rivers I know. Like I can't say there's many rivers that I've seen that, the cause of that pollution is, the farm upstream. It's almost always some type of factory on the riverside, or, I guess like a great example is like the French Broad River up in Asheville. It's like one of the filthiest rivers ever. And it's just because it goes straight through a poop processing plant, basically. And, they dump out a lot of the water there. So, I mean, it's possible that some of the rivers are dirty, maybe due to agriculture, but, again, like, I guess what are you even classifying as dirty? Like just having, poop in there? Like that's just natural matter. That's not something I'm even really concerned about.
Yeah, agreed. Right. You would have to do water testing, and what you'll realize in the water testing, what are you going to find? You're going to find like drugs, right? Stuff that people kind of throw away. What are all these synthetic things that you find in water? You can find it in your tap water, PFAOs or something like that. So, I mean, yeah, it could be human pollution as well. All right. So I have a little segment for you.
Here we go.
Here we go. It's called Friend or Foe. Here, I can share the screen. Share screen. Friend or Foe with Sandy. Right. So basically, I want to show you some people, and then you tell me if they are friend or foe.
Alrighty. Time to get controversial.
Let's see.
All right.
Friend or foe, Liver King.
It's kind of a hard one, I think. All right, I'm gonna go with foe because, obviously he creates this false personality. He's doping. He himself is not even a healthy person. And I think overall he displays like a false image of like what an actual ancestral, diet or lifestyle actually looks like. Because, and anyone who calls himself like an ancestral dieter, their diet looks nothing like Liver King. He eats like crap. He shows that he eats like crap. Just because he, eats raw balls doesn't mean he doesn't eat like crap. But I think, where the positive, I guess he does bring some positives to the table, and that is he has a huge audience. He has exposed a lot of people to this way of eating. So, let's not act like he hasn't improved anyone's, quality of life. Because, if you look at his 9 ancestral tenets, like most of them are generally good advice, like get good sleep, ground in the sunlight, connect with people. But yeah, I guess like for some people it's good because he's influenced them to improve themselves. But I think for the overall community, it's bad because I mean, if you say you're carnivore, people they'll look at you with their jaw open and be like, "Oh, so you're just like Liver King." So it's but I'm
Yes,
gonna go with Foe on that one.
yes, yes. Obviously, same. Dr. Meat says he's a fake. Yeah.
Yeah,
But yeah, no, he does have a good core message. Unfortunately, you are valued as a man of your actions, and the actions are, to lie, say that you're not natty, and to use uh, compounds to become enhanced. So too
yeah,
bad.
yeah. But also,
Whoa.
everything he sells is kind of BS. All right, Paul Saladino. All right, this is a hard one.
Yes,
I think a little
yes.
bit harder than the last one. I'm gonna go with Friend
Interesting.
because even though he's a lot of carbs, like even more carbs than what 90% of people with an animal based lifestyle actually consume. Like he's consuming honestly like 60% carbs, 40% animals, if even. Like he's consuming more fruit than animals, but I think so. I think with the diet he eats, maybe isn't the healthiest, but I think with the information he provides is good enough that it again like steers people in the right direction. Like I know that y'all have kind of dug into him about some of what he said about insulin sensitivity, diabetics, like sugar and all that stuff like that. And I'm not disputing that. Like I don't necessarily agree with him on that, but I think the reality is he has definitely like helped. Like no one, he hasn't made anyone less healthy. I think with the information he's putting out because anyone who is already eating carnivore already knows what they're doing and isn't likely to kind of fall into a Paul Saladino trap. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Friend on that one. I
Okay.
think I
Okay.
think he's I think he's helped a lot of people, even if he's not perfect. He's 90% the way there. That's what I'm gonna say.
Okay. Okay. No, I appreciate your opinion. Yeah, you're a good person, Sandy. It's yeah, yeah, no. I was just highlighting here how how his plate. He has like an orange, bananas, an apple, and honey, and he calls himself Carnivore MD.
Hmm.
Um, it is what it is.
Yeah, like
uh, Dr. Meat says he eats honey too, which a lot of studies are coming out showing how bad it is for you. Yeah, it's not something you want to give diabetics. I think we've covered that on our episodes. Interestingly, the things that uh, you know, he has come out bashing keto. That's why my brother and I we were like, okay, you need to calm down, because the things that he's bashing keto on, so MGO, methyl glyoxide, and cortisol, they're not new topics. Everyone in the keto community has been doing keto, has heard about it for at least the last 5 years. He's acting like it's new. um Both of it we covered in our most recent episode. It's not that's our thing, and the liver push.
hmm yeah, and just like Liver King, for those of you who don't know, him and Liver King are business partners. A- anything they're selling you is BS. They're basically just selling you an overcooked powder that is going to have very very little nutrients. 90% of the nutrients in liver are fat soluble. And if you take out the fat, any type of moisture, how are you going to absorb fat soluble nutrients? Doesn't make much sense to me.
Yeah, yeah, no, yes, pulverized powder. Dr. Sean Baker.
Yeah, Sean Baker. I'm gonna go with Friend for sure. Um, I mean, definitely just sets a good example. Super consistent with his diet. You know, I don't think I've ever seen him eat anything that wasn't a 2-pound ribeye. And yeah, I mean, just look
Yeah.
at him. He's a freaking tank, force of nature. And he's like 50 something. I don't know. World record holder, obviously.
56. Yeah.
Yeah, points people in the right direction for sure. Has
Yeah.
recently, I guess, gotten, you know, I think he works with some companies that sell some BS supplements, but I think that we went over that one time. Yeah, he has some shady affiliations, but we'll let it slide 'cause just because he's freaking jacked. All right, when you're jacked, you can do whatever you want. Let's be real.
Everyone who's jacked is doing it. It's part of the ritual of becoming jacked, to sell some supplements. But yeah. Obviously, a big fan. I'm a big fan of Dr. Sean Baker. He's the one that got me into the carnivore diet, and uh, yeah, no, pretty cool guy. Very consistent. Not really trying to push supplements. I don't think he has actually
Oh yeah.
advocated for that.
Definitely isn't like pushing anything on anyone.
Yeah, he's starting his company. He started his company called Rivero. Trying to do an elimination based approach to heal people. So he's he stumbled on carnivore and he's trying to help people. I guess we're all trying to do it in a different, in our own unique, separate ways.
Mm-hmm.
Simon Hill. Do you know who Simon Hill is?
I do not know who Simon Hill is actually,
Oh,
though.
okay.
Yeah,
Well,
looking at him though, maybe I'm just gonna go with Fo, but let me hear about him.
yeah, no. So he's a vegan, very popular vegan, and
Oh, maybe I think I actually have heard of him. I'll look him up on Instagram real quick.
let me see if I can
Simon Hill.
find the dude.
Oh yeah. He's the guy that fact checks everything. Yeah.
Yeah,
He's been fact checking Paul Saladino a lot, and yeah, I mean, obviously Fo for obvious reasons, but he'll pretty much just say that the claim that someone, for example, Paul has made is like bad, and then provides no actual evidence to back up his counterclaim. It's kind of ridiculous. It's like, you shouldn't just listen to these guys, but you should just listen to me telling you not to listen to these guys. Like, it doesn't make a lot of sense.
yeah. No, yeah, absolute foe. My brother and I we're gonna cover a lot more about what these people are saying because, yeah, as you said, they're just rejecting, to Paul's defense, he brings up a good point about seed oils, about heart disease, about LDL, and obviously he's here, kind of just rejecting that. So, it's the heart of the matter, to put it, when it
Mm-hmm.
comes to heart disease and LDL and all this stuff.
Yeah.
Vegans will attack it and will use that against us.
Yeah, I'm deep in his posts, and he's advocating for soy milk over dairy milk. So, for anyone out there wondering, that should decide, who you support right there.
Yeah.
I mean, just look at him. He looks like a soy milk drinker, to be honest.
What is he
Not
using? Like a beauty filter here?
Yeah, not much masculinity remanating in that man.
Oh man, I hope I don't get in trouble.
Yeah, I mean, for all we know, he's a woman. So
He, she, they, them.
yeah, with enough, I guess soy milk, anyone is going to turn into a woman eventually with all the estrogen.
Yes, exactly. Plant-based news, PBD.
Plant-based news.
Have you ever seen them? Also on IG, they have a pretty big YouTube channel.
Plant-based news. Let's pull them up real quick.
Plant-based news.
All right, I'm gonna go with Friend here. All right, I think they're doing a great thing, making sure we're eating sustainable, pasture raised grass, basically. Just the grass, though.
Uh,
Honestly, making sure we decrease our lifespan so that we have as little impact on the environment as possible,
yes.
and just leave all that room for the animals, which are all more important than us. So, yeah, friend, good work over at Plant Based News.
Yeah. No, yeah, I'm with you. You know, pretty solid work. You know, they have this nice post here, which I fully agree with. I'm glad they agree with it too.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Spreading the message for sure.
definitely. You know, vegan kit, trying to help people. Obviously, good people. Friend or foe, MSM.
Mainstream media. So, guys, if you are not getting your opinions from mainstream media, you're just crazy. Like, come on. All right, this week.
Right.
All right, you know what I've done this week? I've just today I woke up. All right, had my granola cereal with soy milk. Opened up Twitter, donated some money to Ukraine, and then had my Beyond Meat for lunch. And then I read my
Nice.
feminist theory, of course. After that, and now I'm here apologizing for eating meat. Yeah, I mean, mainstream media they want what's best for you. Just let them control your life. Come on, they want what's best.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Approve. You know, that is the approved opinion. You are doing the right thinking, correct thinking. No wrong think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no wrong think at all. If you're looking at any news source that's not in this bubble right here, that is a far right extremist source of news, and you should probably bring it back to something that's listed here.
Absolutely.
Right, these are Pfizer approved sources of media.
Pfizer, the good people of Pfizer approve of the opinions coming out of these sources.
The Pfizer air horn.
Heart healthy oils, man. We got some corn oil, vegetable oil, canola oil. These are the heart healthy oils. Are they your friends or are they your foes?
Definitely. I guess going back to that last post, or I guess that last slide.
Whoa.
My great instructors, all right, my teachers, my mentors over at the mainstream media, all right, they're telling me stay off the tallow, stay off the cholesterol, stay on the omega-6. Once upon a time, in my dreams, actually, I dreamt that seed oils are bad for you, and in my dream, the independent fact checker had to correct me. So,
you committed wrong think, actually wrong dreaming.
Mm-hmm. Committed wrong dream.
Yep. And you were fact checked.
Yeah.
Because you had the wrong dream.
Yeah, I had to write a 3,000 word essay and apology.
I'm glad the system is working perfectly as it should, keeping people exactly where they should belong, with the right opinions and the right thinking, and the right thoughts.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, to anyone questioning whether or not these oils are healthy, I highly do not recommend that you definitely do not research that. These pharmaceutical companies definitely do not have any level of stock in the companies that sell this oil, and vice versa. It definitely doesn't exist. They're not affiliated with one another at all. Completely independent. The pharmaceutical companies not affiliated with the food at all. Not true.
Not. Agreed. Agreed.
So yeah, I mean, big friend here with the heart healthy.
Yeah, heart healthy. I mean, FDA sees both food and drug, but we're going to overlook that, right? There's no connection between food and drug. If you get sick, it's nothing to do with the food. Keep having your heart healthy canola oils and seed oils. Fact checkers approve of this post.
Yeah, I mean, Bill Gates, eats seed oils, and I think he has the peak male physique. So
Yes,
If
we all
you,
want to be like Bill Gates.
Mhm.
Um, Perfect. I'm glad we agree on this slide. That was very important. Bison.
Bison. All right, I guess getting back on a serious note here, I I think ground bison is like obviously from a health perspective, friend bison all around. So yeah, overall verdict, friend on the bison. But something interesting is like bison steaks. I'm just not a big fan of bison steaks. Like I feel like they're super lean. Even if you cook them rare, they're super chewy. They're kind of, you know,
Mm,
I just don't think they're as good as plain old cows. But I think bison ground beef is way better than beef ground beef. So
mm, yeah.
like I guess that's my verdict on that. Bison ground beef over, or I guess ground bison over ground beef.
Mm.
But cow steak over bison steak any day.
Beef steak over. Nice, nice. I like it. I like it. This is I've had ground bison, and it is slightly leaner. It's around the 90%. But the taste is definitely. I agree. The taste is different, and I enjoy it. Potentially more than the ground beef. It is more pricey. I haven't had steak, uh, bison steak, so I'm missing out. I should try it. I should give it a try. I know it's been recommended before. Um, yeah, bison are friends, human friends.
Hmm. So yet another. All right, sponsored by Pfizer right here. All right.
This was 100% sponsored by Pfizer.
Yeah, I know. So
Butterfield is also sponsored by Pfizer. We are approved.
yeah, Pfizer has approved all of these messages. Yeah, I mean, if you look at them right here, you can peak male physique, right? Or I guess peak they them physique. Um, you know, if
Yes.
it,
Uh,
as a man, you should want those voluptuous breasts that I guess they have with all the estrogen, all the soy milk you're drinking.
yeah.
Um, yeah, it doesn't get much better than this. I think if we listen to Sam, if we just go away from religion, just it'll all get better. All right, just turn on the news, put down the Bible, you know, eat the bug, you'll be good.
I mean, yeah. I mean, obviously, these are the good people, right? That's why
Yeah, but why
he
would
has
they
the
be on
song.
TV if they're not good for you?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, he's dressed up here as a good person,
Hmm.
as a good influence, and has a song that goes with it called "Unholy," and
Hmm.
that's obviously to
Because
encourage.
holy is very bad,
Holy is very bad.
Hmm.
It's good to be unholy. Um, so yeah, absolutely. I'm with you, Sandy. It's not like they're telling us to our face they're the bad guys. No,
No, no, no, no,
no,
no.
no,
Because they're obviously why else would they be dressed as the good guys?
no.
Streaming
Definitely.
at the Good Guy Award show.
Yes. Yeah, yeah. Honestly, yeah. I heard the news. I was kind of stunned. Um, I was probably more stunned about you know the Grammys happening, that they still existed.
Hmm. Yeah.
But that's it is what it is.
Hmm. Yeah, for sure. Um,
That was friend or foe. Thanks for participating, Sandy. I hope you were able to identify your friends. A lot of them there, many friends, and
hmm.
very
And
few
a
foes.
few foes, yeah. But yeah, that was I've learned a lot about myself and my beliefs for that game. So thank you very much.
Yes, very introspective moment. Yeah. So Sandy, what's in the future for Sandy? More carnivore. I know. Oh yeah, you mentioned raw meat
Yeah,
experiments
I
soon.
got to give it a try at least. Gotta give the primal diet a gander. And if I die, from all that bacteria, you guys can laugh at me.
We'll bring you on the show and be like, Sandy, did you
Yeah,
die?
yeah. Did I die? My corpse will be like my skeleton will be shaking around a little bit. Someone will be like moving the jaw. Yes, yeah, I died.
Oh man.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I want to give it a try. Just see how it affects me. Just do a little self hypothesis there. Um,
Yeah.
and yeah, aside from that, I think I'm going to focus on connecting more into nature, into reality, because part of being healthy is obviously the diet, but part of being healthy is the physical aspect, the lifestyle. If you look at I guess the blue zones, as they call them, the areas around the world where everyone is super healthy, they live super long. Not only are they obviously eating meat, but they are like relatively living enjoyable, stress-free lives. Like, and I think that is, aside from diet, the best thing someone can do for themselves. And that's something I'm moving towards, a stress-free, you know, natural-based lifestyle. I think if it's not based in nature, get it out of your life. So I guess
Yeah. Yeah.
that's what's up for me.
Yeah. I mean, you're very outdoorsy, and I think the diet kind of also connects you with nature. It has for me. Want it make me want to get closer with nature, kind of just reintegrate myself with, the world that I live in, this earth. Um, so yeah, no, it's cool to hear that. Well, you already had that background with the
Hmm.
whitewater kayaking, but cool to hear that it's like what you're planning to do. Um, are you still gonna be whitewater kayaking? I know you mentioned you want to potentially do some butchering.
Yeah, yeah. So in these obviously next few months, I need a job. Um, I'm definitely thinking about reaching out to a butcher wherever I end up, and learning the tools of the trade, learning how to chop some animals. So that's like obviously a very important life skill. So something I'm looking forward to maybe learning.
Nice, nice. No, yeah, that would be fun. If you do, let us know, and we'll try to make a trip and see you at work.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it wouldn't even be work at that point. It would just be fun. Do what you love, and you'll never work.
True, true. Wise words. Wise words. Wow. All right, Sandy. We have been at it for an hour and 32 minutes.
Yeah, enjoyed every second of it. I guess. Yeah. Thanks for having me on, letting me talk about I guess how that animal based lifestyle has helped me. How it can maybe help some other people.
Yeah, yeah, no. No, really happy that you accepted to show up and kind of talk with me, and go through my questions, right? Kind of, obviously, you were able to express your knowledge on these topics, and I think it's pretty cool because you're pretty young, and you know a lot about this world, you could say. So um, that's good. That means you can continue learning, and there's more you're gonna learn. Same for me, right? Always learning. But no, no, thank you for being part of the show. Uh, it was a blast. Thanks for being part of our Discord group. Love having you there. Kind of wish I could see more sit-ups, more push-ups in the prior challenges.
Oh man, calling me out in public here. Yeah.
It's towards the end. It's towards the end.
Mhm.
Uh, uh, but no, yeah, just messing with you, man.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah. It's been great. I guess getting to be in the Butterfuel group there for these past few months. I guess yeah, helped me for sure. It's been enjoyable. It's been awesome. So yeah, something I'll always continue to support.
Appreciate it, Sandy. Really do. All right. So I'm gonna play the outro, and then thanks everyone for watching and tuning in and watching us chat with Sandy. Pretty cool guy, obviously based. You can tell. Yeah, so I'll play the outro and then kind of end the live stream. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Catch you all next time.
Bye bye.
But